started to go out a lot more with my girlfriends, more than ever. I started getting a lot of attention.
So the one thing I hate about my ex is what an amazing person he was to me.
Why are all men trash?
The women's world and men are just living in it.
So social media caused me to get a divorce.
Even the most perfect man's marriage comes falling apart someday.
Women have a problem with submission because they view it as it's something that's negative.
We used to marry till death do us part. Today we marry till love dies.
So earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man.
In today's generation, being a great man can end your marriage.
Think about this. The divorce rates, approximately 50% divorce rates in the USA, and 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So who really tends to give up the most? By the numbers, it's...
How dare you?
It's women.
Society we're creating right now, more and more men don't want to get married. And I get why. There is almost zero upside for men getting married. This isn't me saying that men shouldn't get married, or women, but think about what society is telling men about what being a man is. Tell about society is fucking men hardcore for getting married. If you get married and you get divorced, a woman takes 50% of whatever you have. 80% of relationships, the man is the biggest provider. So that's a big fuck right off the bat. What are you getting in exchange for that? Second, if you have kids with her, you're fucked, because the government doesn't think that you deserve shit. So even good dads who try to stay in the kid's life are fucked. So there's a lot of men going, why the fuck would I do this? The good news is that will correct itself, because eventually then people start going, oh, right? When you create mistakes, you only create more error. Error creates more error. So we've gone so far the other direction that more and more men are going, like, why the fuck would I get married?
Been married, just left, gave ex-wife everything. Peace of mind has many benefits. Not to mention my ex found out she could get 20% more child support in the neighboring state, so she moved, even after $70,000 in attorney fees. The problem is that neither side understands respect. I'm going on 20 years and I wouldn't change a thing, and I feel bad for this generation. There is literally no benefit gain or reason to get married. It's signing something to give everything you work for away. Women can pave their own way now, so we're not as dependent. We meet on level ground. Men hate that. They like dependence, to control. This makes me so sad. Humans, we overthink everything. Animals just do their role and don't complain. Life isn't fair, but we need women, and women need men. A lot of women in the comments of this video were saying, women don't want to get married either. The thing is, that is good news, because they're saving many men's lives by not getting married and then ruin it 20 years later.
Let it all go. If we let it all go, it's all free fall. Stop. Free fall.
Last time I checked, there was 7 billion people in the world. I'll just leave it at that.
No. Our generation is cooked. There's no way! Kaka's ex-wife has just come out saying why she actually divorced Kaka, who she was married to for 10 years, saying, Kaka never betrayed me. He treated me well. He gave me a wonderful family, but I was not happy. Something was missing. The problem was he was too perfect for me. You're telling me that this woman married her childhood sweetheart and divorced him after 10 years, even after 2 children, to end up going with a bad boy. So she was married to a Champions League winner, World Cup winner, and Ballon d'Or winner, and yet she still divorced him. Not to mention that this guy's one of the most handsome men in football. I'm not gay, but this guy is majestic, let's be real. Lads, if this guy ended up being single and got divorced for being too perfect, our chances are not even slim. There's no hope for us. This generation's cooked, fam. I actually can't believe that.
Nice guys will always finish last, no matter what. This man provided a wonderful life for this woman, gave her everything a man can ever provide. But because she was attracted to bad boys and the toxicity, she filed for divorce and destroyed their marriage. It doesn't matter how hard you try, it will never be enough. Focus on making you better. Choose peace over misery.
After you actually lose a good man, let me tell you the aftermath before you choose to lose this good man. You will try to find a man equivalent to the man you're with. And you will think that you could find better. But when you actually put yourself out there, you'll realize there is no man left right now. And every man will try to use you for a certain thing. And you will look for that man that you left in other men. You will regret that man to the core because you'll realize that there is no good people out there and nobody loved you as much as that man loved you. And after that, you will try to go back to that good man, only to realize that that good man doesn't want you. And he actually found a good girl. If you have someone good in your life, cherish them. Don't think you could replace them.
My female cousin left her a good man. Now he is married with 2 kids. Till this day she regrets it and cries about it. My son's mother found that out the hard way and died heartbroken that she lost me before our son graduated from high school. Exactly, that's why she keeps calling. It's too late, sweetie. I haven't found someone, but I ain't going back. Literally what my friend is going through right now. She lost my best friend who was a good man, and now she has no one to blame but herself. A lot of people need to lose you for them to see what they had in their lives. Some of them come crawling back because the person they left you for is treating them badly. Never allow yourself to be treated like a second option. The best choice is to move on and never look back.
I started to go out a lot more with my girlfriends, more than ever. I started getting a lot of attention, a lot more attention from men, and I didn't know how to handle it. So met a guy at work, and we started to become friends. He was very flirtatious, gave me a lot of attention. I had just had a baby. I was about a year postpartum, and I was feeling, the weight was gone, but I was still feeling bad. I was feeling bored and frumpy, and I just wanted some excitement. And he and I became friends, and it was innocent at first. And then it gradually started to progress into something a little more inappropriate each day. I work.
It's amazing how a man can love a woman at her worst, and they can't love a man at their best. But this is pretty common with people who loses weight. The simplest way to explain this is when they were big. Nobody was paying attention to them or showing them any type of attention. But once they burn a few pounds, all of the attention they're getting starts to get in their heads. They start having more eyes on them, and more people are noticing them. This is why I say a man's love and a woman's love is 2 completely different things. It's a really sad world we live in. She never really loved him.
Please just ask me what you just asked me. She's 20, and she asked me, how old are you? I said, I'm this. And she said, where's your ring? Where's our ring? Where's our ring? I got my class ring. That's not it, baby. Embarrassed.
Every girl's walking through life thinking they're going to win the lottery and date this top 1% man. He has to be over 6 foot. He has to make over 70K. He has to be attractive. He has to be a chick. What? But see, this is here. Wait. This is the problem. That sounds nice. It sounds nice and it's possible, but it's not probable. It's probably not going to happen.
Not for every woman.
So I'll tell you another stat. Okay, so big banks are investing in things like cat food, wine, because 50% of women are projected to be single and childless over 30. So that means all the girls in this room, half of us will never have kids. And it's also like if you don't get married by 35, your odds of getting married and having a long, stable relationship ever, it's very low.
She was being very generous when she said 70K. These women today are expecting their man to come up with 500K plus, if not more. They just be throwing any number out there without knowing anything. But as soon as the wall starts knocking at 40, their standards starts to decrease.
Husband was wrongfully convicted. How long would you wait for him?
6 months max. And we've been together 15 years.
How long would you wait for her?
Forever.
5.
Don't lie.
5.
5 what?
Months. Good, dude. You should get back on Hinge immediately. How long would you wait for him?
I wouldn't.
No?
Fuck
Your husband?
that. No, fuck that.
Even if he's wrongfully convicted?
How would I know if it's wrongful?
I could prove it.
A year, minimum.
Year max, and you gotta get back to Hinge?
I'd wait.
How long?
How long are we talking? I'm kidding.
10 years, 15 years.
I'd wait. I'd wait 10 years.
She wouldn't wait, but it's okay.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yeah, that's harder to have a dude already ready to go at that time.
The best man, bro.
Right? Exactly.
Every time.
All time, every time.
If your man was wrongfully convicted, how long would you wait for him?
Not even a day.
Wrongfully.
What?
Okay, if your husband was wrongfully convicted, how long would you wait?
You probably did it. A year.
For your husband?
Yeah.
Now this is the response from the new generation birds. A lot of women in the comments were disagreeing and saying they would wait longer. Like this comment says, maybe some of these women are married to men they aren't happy with anymore. That's why some said not even a day or 6 months.
3 things I learned after losing my boyfriend. Number 1, listen to each other. Francesco used to always say to me, when you get in my car, acknowledge me. Don't be on your phone. Give me a kiss when you see me. And I used to get annoyed. Like, what's the big deal if I'm on my phone? I see you every day. All he wanted was acknowledgement. And for me, I was stubborn. I wanted to do what I wanted to do for what? Why couldn't I just respect him and just do what he wanted me to do? Which didn't take much. Now I would do anything for that kiss. Listen to each other. Sometimes it's not that hard to make each other happy if you pay attention. Number 2, be okay with saying, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Put your pride and ego aside. If you're wrong, admit it. I think it's pretty empowering to be wrong. Being wrong is a good thing. It's how you learn, it's how you grow. Show the person that you acknowledge that you could do better. It'll get you really far in the relationship. Number 3, don't fight over stupidity. Literally sit down when you get upset and weigh out the options. Weigh if it's like worth the fight. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes things are just like a quick conversation and that's it. To blow things out of proportions, life is just fucking short. And if there's anything I learned, it's that. Spend more time enjoying each other because you guys deserve that.
Remember earlier when I said, sometimes you have to lose the person you were taking for granted to see the value in them that you were missing? This woman here is a perfect example of that. This is her sharing her experience and regrets. It's really a shame most people realize this when it's too late. But I have to respect her honesty for taking accountability. That's really rare in most women.
I never got the point of happy wife, happy life. You hear it growing up and it conditions you to think as long as a woman is happy, all will be well. And then you grow up in a generation where women strive to do exactly that, make sure that they are happy above all else, including above their partner. To live by happy wife, happy life is selfish. To live by happy spouse, happy house is love. And now it confuses me to think why a woman would put her happiness above anybody else. When she asks for a leader, a provider, a protector, all in one, to be loyal and to serve according to her emotions and necessities, seems like a big responsibility to take on a wife. It almost sounds like a child. To be taken care of, to be paid attention to be coddled and loved and never wanting to seem like she's giving too much, because then who are you to tell her anything? To have enough sexual experience to please her in the bed, but now you have to compete with all the men that have already left their mark in her, and it's not just 1 and it's not just 2 and it's not just 3. And it doesn't stop there. You have to look her type, act her type, and most of the time she wants a little bit of hood and a little bit of holy. But if you act too holy, you're seen as weak, and if you act too hood, it comes across as you're too aggressive. She wants a man that will spoil her and treat her like a princess, to be called queen but have no class when the words out her mouth are disrespectful as soon as it doesn't go her way. But you must be patient and you must be graceful with her. And the irony of all that I say about this is that she wants to come as she is. It sounds like she's looking for the love of God in men.
The new saying should be happy spouse, happy house, like she mentioned. Pouring into each other is more important than just pouring into one person. That's one of the major reasons today why men aren't getting married. 80 to 90% of these modern women be selfish. They're only worried about themselves. They're only worrying about what the next man can do for them. They like to take but never reciprocate. If there was more women who would talk with this humility, they would have been far ahead in their lives.
Would recommend that you have her sign a prenuptial agreement that basically says if there's any reason this marriage ends, she walks away with what she owns, you walk away with what you own. If she's not willing to sign that, well then I'm not necessarily sure I'd be married to anybody for any reason. I mean, when you think about it, dude, marriages are a business contract with the state. It's basically saying if anything happens to this relationship, you're going to need us to get out of it. So it's a contract with the state. It affords you married couple benefits and privileges, but I don't even know what those are anymore. I don't know what they are. But, you know, I highly recommend finding someone that you love and you want to be with, and they respect you and you respect each other, and live happily ever after. That's what I would hope. But a contract with the state is not necessary to do that. You don't have to be married through the state. You can be married through spirit. You can be married through agreement, just a personal agreement. But when it comes to how do you know if they're the one, you don't know that they're the one. In fact, a lot of people get that wrong.
I'm sure that we all know that prenups most of the time are thrown out in court, which is also based on how long the marriage lasted for. And these court systems are designed to be against men. The best way to stay happy and enjoy your life is to not get married by the state. I've heard in some cases people do it using affidavit.
So social media caused me to get a divorce. Like, that's dumb. That's a mistake. Let me explain.
This is about to be one of those videos where I'm like, why is this on the internet? But continue.
My own feelings of uncertainty and unhappiness for a while. I was actually, I hate telling people this, but like, I had thoughts on my wedding day, and I thought that was just super normal. And I was in the haze of being a new mom. We got pregnant very early in our relationship.
This is yet another perfect example of how women fall in love with the process of being in love rather than the actual person that they're marrying. And once the excitement of the wedding and having a baby and all of those things die out and reality smacks them in the face, they wake up and realize, oh shit, I think I made the wrong decision. And in this case, a lot of these women already know on their wedding day or before they even have children that they don't want to be with these people in the first place, which I think is very, very selfish.
We got pregnant very early in our relationship on purpose, which again, another story for another day. But, you know, being a new mom, I had 2 kids, 2 young kids, and I was just in survival mode. So I really didn't have a lot of time to think about me or what I wanted or what I was feeling. I was just in kind of like autopilot. And I think that's probably why if you go back on my page, you'll see any videos of me talking about my husband where like I make us out to be like the happiest couple ever, which we're not unhappy. There is actually not a lot of tea here. There's not a lot of like jealousy or animosity or a big story or anything that was wrong. It just also wasn't right.
Then she goes on a 2-minute rant about how she got into therapy and her therapist is telling her that she's just a people pleaser and this is why she's made such poor decisions to begin with. So it strips her of any real accountability. She even says that she got on the internet and realized that other women felt the same way that she did, and that's why she felt it was relatable in how she was feeling as well. I'm telling you, social media will influence these women in a direction that they don't want to be in because now she's a single mother of 2 kids. And she even goes on to state that there was no tea, there was no abuse, there was nothing, and it was pretty much like she just woke up one day and decided, oh shit, I made the wrong choice. And she's such a people pleaser, but she doesn't realize that simultaneously she's being selfish as fuck, wasting his time and bringing 2 kids into the world, essentially immediately into a broken home or what's going to be a broken home. Look, and I'm all for getting out of unhappy relationships, but don't you think you should have figured that out before you got married or even perhaps after the first child? Like, you went as far as to have 2 children with this man, knowing damn well that he wasn't the one or that it wasn't going to be a long-term situation. But then these women get on the internet and kind of brag about it like it's funny. And like they're not part of the problem because everyone around them on social media and apparently this woman's therapist are validating them for these poor decisions. This just goes to show you how many women are at the stages in their life where they want to do everything for social media and they don't want to do it for reality, and where they fall in love with the process of being in love, but they don't fall in love with the person that they're actually marrying or being with long term. And I think it's incredibly toxic, selfish. I don't care how you spin it. The fact that these women bring children into the world, they waste a man's time and they do all of this, and then they get on the internet like it's funny or it's a joke or it's embarrassing and they don't want to talk about it, but you know, they want to get the clout for it. Is absolutely embarrassing in my opinion. Okay, bye.
This is simply a case where a woman married for the wedding and not for the marriage. A lot of that is happening in our generation today, and it's becoming more of a frequent thing. The only thing that came out of that woman's mouth is me, and me. These women are selfish. They never think about the children. It's all about their happiness. And the crazy part is, she still didn't take any accountability for it.
How am I rooting so many men? You guys are easy. Come on now, we know it's not a challenge. You guys will take anything.
These types of women always brag about how easy men are to get. They never brag about how easy it is to keep a man. They can always get a man to sleep with them, but they can never get a man to marry them. That's the big difference.